This ancient tablet claims that kings once ruled Earth, not for 30 years, not for 300, but for 30,000 years. Why would a civilization write something so impossible? Imagine uncovering a 4,000-year-old clay tablet, a relic from the dawn of civilization. You carefully translate its ancient script, expecting to find laws, myths, or maybe a record of grain sales. But instead, you find a list of kings who ruled for tens of thousands of years, lifespans longer than entire civilizations. Reigns that defy biology, physics, and everything we thought we knew about human history. This isn't science fiction. This is the Sumerian King List, a document that, by all logic, should not exist. What could possibly explain it? What exactly is the Sumerian King List? Found in the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. It is a clay document that chronicles the rulers of the Sumerian civilization from the very beginning of time. It starts by saying, after the kingship descended from heaven, the kingship was an Eridu. But nothing can prepare you for what it says next. The very first king, Alulam, is said to have ruled for 28,800 years. His successor, Alaunga, ruled for an incredible 36,000 years. Other kings on the list ruled for 21,000 years, 18,600 years, and many for periods between 1,200 and 3,600 years. We're not talking about decades or even centuries. We're talking about millennia. How could any scribe, thousands of years ago, write these numbers down and expect to be taken seriously? Was it a mathematical error, a symbolic text, or something far more profound? The Sumerians were meticulous record keepers, pioneers of mathematics and astronomy. For them to make such a colossal error seems unlikely. This wasn't just a casual mistake. It was a deliberate statement, preserved in stone for millennia. The most fascinating part of the tablet is how it divides history. It's not separated by dynasties or wars, but by a single, cataclysmic event. The list is explicitly broken into two parts: the kings who ruled before the Great Flood, and the kings who ruled after. Before the flood, the kings lived these impossibly long lives. After the flood, their reigns suddenly and dramatically dropped. This isn't just a random detail. It's a powerful echo of a story found all over the world. Think about it. The Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh, which heavily features a great flood, the biblical story of Noah, ancient Egyptian texts, Hindu scriptures describing the Manu flood, even traditions from Mesoamerica and indigenous cultures across the globe. All of these separate ancient civilizations describe a world-altering flood, a moment when the world was reset. The Sumerian King List doesn't just mention a flood. It uses it as the single most important historical marker, a dividing line between two completely different eras of humanity. Why did so many ancient cultures, separated by oceans and centuries, all fixate on this one event as the turning point in human history? So, who were these pre-flood kings with lifespans that rivaled the stars? To understand the Sumerian mindset, we have to look at their gods. They believed that a race of powerful beings called the Anunnaki descended from the heavens. These Anunnaki weren't just distant deities. They were hands-on teachers who gave humanity the gifts of civilization: writing, agriculture, law, metalworking, and, most importantly, the concept of kingship itself. The list literally states that kingship descended from heaven. This has led some researchers to propose a very controversial theory, that the pre-flood kings were unhuman, or, at least, not entirely human. Could they have been the Anunnaki themselves, ruling directly over humanity? Or perhaps they were demigods, the offspring of Anunnaki and humans, who inherited their divine parents' longevity. This theory is far from mainstream, of course, but the tablet itself forces us to ask the question, why would a practical, intelligent civilization invent such unbelievable lifespans unless they were preserving a tradition, a memory of a time when the rulers were different? The idea of divine or semi-divine rulers isn't unique to Sumer. Pharaohs in Egypt were considered gods, and emperors in Rome were deified, but no one claimed they lived for 30,000 years. The Sumerian claim is in a league of its own. The most scientifically intriguing part of the King List is what happens after the flood. The pattern is undeniable. The impossibly long rains vanish. Now, you might be thinking, this is all just a fascinating myth, a creative story. But here's the problem. The Sumerian King List isn't just a list of gods and legends. It lists real historical cities. Kish, Ur, Uruk. These are not mythical places like Atlantis. They are archaeological sites that have been excavated and studied. Even more compelling, the list includes rulers who we know from other archaeological evidence actually existed. People like Enmebarashesi of Kish and the legendary Gilgamesh of Uruk, once thought to be a myth, are now considered by many scholars to be based on real historical kings. This is the central paradox of the King List. The Sumerians mixed verifiably real history with what seems to be impossible history, all in the same official document. They didn't separate them. To them, the king who ruled for 36,000 years was just as real as the king who ruled for 30 years. Why would they do this? Were they preserving the last echoes of a forgotten age, a memory of an earlier, more advanced humanity? Or perhaps a record of something even older, something not quite human at all? In the end, the Sumerian King List doesn't ask you to believe it. It doesn't try to persuade you. It simply exists, a 4,000-year-old artifact carved in clay, presenting a version of history that shatters our own. It's a document that is part verifiable fact and part impossible fantasy, and it refuses to tell us where one ends and the other begins. Scholars can debate whether the numbers are symbolic or literal, whether the kings were gods or men, but the tablet remains. And the ultimate question is this: if these long-lived kings never existed, why did one of the world's first and most brilliant civilizations insist that they did? What memory were they trying so desperately to preserve? The secrets are still out there, waiting in the dust. Thanks for watching. If you want to explore more ancient mysteries that challenge everything we know, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next investigation.